We come to you today very, very thankful for especially this time of the year. We give thanks for our teachers and our staff and for our students and their families. We are blessed to be able to work together for our community. Help us remember all that we have been given and help us to share our resources and work to provide for all those that need our help. Give us strength, patience, and wisdom to make the best decisions that we can. Thank you for this beautiful day and our health as we work to celebrate all that you've given us. In your name we pray. Amen. Ms. Helms, would you like to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, if everyone will stand?
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, it's very nice to see a full house here tonight.
Yes.
And so we'll get started. There were no one was signed up for public comment. I do want to make one comment before we accept the agenda. Our student ambassadors have another engagement a little later that they need to attend. And so if it's okay, I may let them go ahead and make their comments right at the first, unless anybody objects. So other than, I don't know of any other changes on the agenda other than letting them go ahead and speak. Okay? All right. So everybody's good with that? Then at this time, I would like to accept a motion to accept the agenda and pass the general consent items.
I so moved.
All right, Mr. Cordell,
Second.
Mr. Crabtree. Are there any questions about the agenda tonight or any concerns? Hearing none, Mr. Crabtree, let's start with you tonight.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
The chair votes aye, so it passes 6-0.
I was trying to count.
Yeah,
How many
so we
we
do
have?
have a quorum.
Thankfully.
Yeah. So at this time, before we get started with our action items, welcome student ambassadors. Would y'all like to go ahead and tell us what's happening at this point? And tell us where you're going tonight.
Okay, so tonight, student government has their pinning ceremony, which is a ceremony that honors student government members from last year moving on to this year, and then our new student government members get their new pin and are honored into the new year. So at school, we have the football season just ended in late October, so us seniors are very sad about that, but we are excited for next year to see how our school does. Our theater program had their play on Thursday. It was their first play during school this year, and those students who had a Renaissance card, which is if you have a red card, you have all A's and B's. All A's, a blue card is all A's and B's. A white card is perfect attendance, and then a silver card is either a raised GPA or a 4.0. So it's just a education incentive to get students to work hard. If you had a Renaissance card, you were able to leave first and second period on Thursday to attend a play. Heard lots of good things from it, so that's what's going on at Coffee County.
Basketball season starts tomorrow. We had a food pantry last Friday, and student government, we helped work it. Our band had a great performance on Veterans Day under their new director, Mr. Frankenfield. It was amazing. So yeah, that's all.
All right. Well, thank y'all very much. All right. At this time, we will start down through, are any questions to our student ambassadors? Thank y'all for being here for as long as you could. Action item number 1, teacher tenure. Dr. Lawson, do you want to speak on this?
Yes, sir. Okay, well, what this, and I don't have a microphone, I don't know if I'm supposed to or not.
Yes, sir, you are.
You are.
That one's yours.
Tonight, we're gonna recognize teachers who are recommended for tenure. And of course, we're gonna have that vote. So do you want me to call them up here one at a time and what school they're at and that kind of thing? Or do you wanna have the vote for tenure first?
Why don't we go ahead and vote? What would the board like? You want to go ahead and vote for tenure? So let's go ahead and get a motion
We have the certificates.
to accept
I so move.
the teachers for tenure that's been presented.
Oh, excuse me.
Mr. Cordell made the motion.
Second.
Mr. Crabtree made the second. Okay?
And I will say that this represents, for tenure, you have to have 5 years of experience with the district, and the last 2 years are minimum scores of 2 consecutive years of 4s and 5s on the growth scores that are used, and those are the 2 highest levels for growth score. So, and these people have completed all those requirements and been recommended by their building principal.
Okay, and it does come with your recommendation, these people.
It does.
Any questions? Concerns? Let's go ahead and vote to approve these folks. Mr. Cordell?
Aye.
Mr. Ballard?
Aye.
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 Chair votes aye. That passes 6-0. So now, Dr. Lawson, go ahead and introduce these
So
folks.
now that it's official, it would be a little awkward to hand out certificates until it's official, but now that it is, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna call these individuals up, and I guess, are we gonna want a group picture? So just remain up here. We'll go ahead and move across from this side to this side, and I'm just going to call you up here one at a time. The first group of people I'm gonna call up is from Coffee County Central High School, Wesley Rutledge. Next person is Dana Newton. Lacey Brown. Christy Evans. And Laura Whaley.
Thank y'all.
Okay, the next certificates I have are for Coffee County Middle School. First one, Rachel Williams. And Juan Smith. Got a couple here from Coffee County Raider Academy. Sarah Persinger. And Tiffany Brown. And we have a couple from Deerfield Elementary School. First one, Rachel Holder. And Devin Spearman. Representative from East Coffee, Rhonda Meeks. New Union has a couple of names. We've got Victoria Adams. And Helen Doherty. I'm not sure I pronounced that correctly. From North Coffee, we have Tierra Miller. Kimberly Hodges. Okay, let me move this out of the way real quick. We could just close up right here and center. If you two want to come down here to this side, that will help center out everything out. If board members can stand so they can be seen, I would say
Get in.
I don't know if I can.
and let us know if we need to move.
Or which way we need to move.
Well, thank you very much. And,
Hey, now, before you go, since you got tenure now, is there anything you need to say? Now's the time. No. Congratulations. Yeah. Hey, thank you. Appreciate it. Good job. Any board members have any comments or questions about the tenured teachers?
Congratulations.
Congratulations. Awesome.
Love our teachers.
You're welcome to stay, but we also understand that it gets dark quick, and there's elementary ball games going on and that kind of thing. And if you want to leave, that's completely understandable.
Oh, yeah. There's a policy committee.
Leah's school's only lost one game, so she's at the ball game
Oh,
with the kids.
really? That's awesome. They were good. Raina's playing at 6, I think, but I figured we'd be done by.
They're starting right at 5. She hated she had to miss this, but
It's okay.
Okay.
I'm gonna cry.
Moving on to action item number 2, the LEA compliance report. Dr. Lawson, you want to speak on this, or?
Yes, sir. And then anything I miss, if there's details, Mr. Shores will handle some of the details because this has been something he's been working on. The LEA compliance report, we have to vouch to the state each year. This was done at the same time last year. We have to vouch to the state that we are following rules and regulations and that are required, and these are quite extensive. If you reviewed the document, you would see that there's quite a few different things. What we do is we go through a process. We gather as supervisors, and each supervisor confirms that their department is following certain regulations that are required. We've had that meeting. Anytime there was a question, we reach back out to those staff members that are responsible for that to make sure that those requirements are being met. We have had these meetings. We have discussed this, and to the best of our knowledge, Coffee County is in compliance with the state regulations that are required. But one of those is that the board approves the compliance report, and that we have informed the board. So this is the informing the board stage, and this confirms that you have laid eyes on the compliance report as it stands.
Approving this compliance report comes with your recommendation.
It does.
Okay, you've heard the director's recommendation to accept the LEA compliance report. Do I like to open the floor for a motion?
So moved.
Mr. Parsley,
Second.
Mr. Crabtree. Questions about this report? Hearing none, Mr. Ballard?
Aye.
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 Chair votes aye. That passes 6-0. Action item number 3, electronic security door bid. Mr. Shores or Dr. Lawson?
I'll let Mr. Shores handle
Shores?
this one.
Okay, this is the front doors for each one of our schools. What we're looking for is putting it so that we have 2 electronic door entrances at each school. That means that parents or visitors to our schools would have to be buzzed into the foyer part or into the office, and then before they can actually get into the rest of the building, they have to be buzzed into the rest of the building. So that would create two access points. Some of our schools already have this, some of our schools do not. This is just getting everybody up to that point where we need it to be. So that's what we're looking at. The funding for this project is the Public School Security Grant. And also, when we met as a safety committee, we put aside about $20,000 to go towards this. The price came in a lot higher. It's about $30,000. So that's where the capital outlay will jump in to help take care of the entire project to finish it off. But if there are any questions, or actually after
Okay.
your motions.
So this electronic security door bid comes with your recommendation, Dr. Lawson?
Yes, this is it definitely comes with my recommendation.
Okay. You've heard the director's recommendation to accept the electronic security door bid from Central Technologies for $31,259.40. I would like to open the floor for a motion.
I so move.
Second.
Mr. Cordell, Miss Jennifer. Okay, questions about this security door?
So the schools that are not on the list already have the doors, right?
That is correct.
I think we saw them at East Coffee when we were out there in the.
That is correct. East Coffee's already got it.
All right.
So, yes, and all the doors have the locks, it's just that those schools already have the 2 layers. This will add the second layer
That
at all
is correct.
schools.
So we're talking basically 10 doors, right?
No, not exactly. Some of our some give an example. Just popped in my mind. North Coffee has one going into their office. So there's going to be one needs to be placed on the outside, and then also one on the inside. So it's some schools need 2, some schools need 1. It's just a little bit of a change up depending on where they are.
So the ones that have been going from the outside doors into the vestibule, so to speak, they'll now have to stop at that outside door, correct?
They will have to stop at the outside door.
Okay.
Deerfield is one that they could get into that middle part. This would stop them on the outside of Deerfield. Then they could, once they get buzzed in, they could get into the office, but then she will have to buzz them to get on into the rest of the building. Now there is one at the mid going into the office, but they could either turn it off or continue to use it. Our main goal is the other 2. Does that make sense? You're looking a little puzzled still.
No, I just would advise not turning any off, so.
Right.
When are these gonna be installed, or do we know?
As soon as, if they get past tonight, we will turn it in to Central Technologies. Last we heard, they were looking about January to February to start installing these.
Are we piggybacking these with some other people? Is this going through a state bid process or?
If you will notice, it's actually on TIPS contract. TIPS is a purchasing cooperative.
Yeah.
So they have a contract through TIPS, and that's the way we'll be moving through.
Okay, good.
Any more questions or concerns? If not, we're voting to accept agenda action item number 3, the electronic security door bid. Mr. Parsley.
Aye.
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 Chair votes aye. That passes 6-0. Moving on to action item number 4, Medico door locking system bid. Mr. Shores?
Okay, the Medico locking system, we've pretty much finished up. We still have just a few little touch-ups that we got to finish up at the elementary levels. But this year, the main goal was hitting the 9th grade academy and the high school. We're looking at the outside door locks coming in, as well as classroom door locks. And for a school that is known for no doors, that is the open classroom concept, there is a ton of doors at the high school. It blows me away. So as you can tell on the prices here, $52,896.86 for the high school, $22,471.95 for the Raider Academy. Now understand that this is going to take care of a couple of problems. It's going to give us, one thing is the security of the doors, of having the locks there, but also we're making these doors ADA compliant as well. Right now the knobs are your regular knobs, And when we get done, they will have the handle lever, which is making them ADA compliant. But it is the Medico system. It's a latering system that we're using throughout all of our schools, and it's just making it more secure for our buildings. And the funding, we, as the safety committee, had placed in $60,000 to go towards the locks, and the total price came in at $75,000. So that's where capital outlay will be picking up the other $15,000. The vendor is Annexter, which is a Wesco company, and it's a Sourcewell contract, which is the cooperative group that we would be going through.
Okay. So Dr. Lawson, this door locking system bid comes with your recommendation?
It does.
Okay. You've heard the director's recommendation to accept the Medico door locking system for $75,368.81. I'd like to open the floor for a motion.
So moved.
Mr. Parsley,
Second.
Mr. Crabtree. Okay. Questions about this?
Going through here, looking at all these quantities, it's hard to tell. Do we have an actual number of how many doors at Raider Academy and Coffee County Central High School this is actually covering? Do you have a count of the actual number of doors, or have I asked something I shouldn't?
No, you can ask that. Definitely, you can ask anything you'd like to ask, but I don't have the actual count with me. I didn't prepare that with me. We are buying a few extras to put on the shelf, just in case we have a handle to break on us, that we have to change out, a repair. But I do not have the actual number in front of me of each place.
I just know that when I walk through the high school or Raider Academy, there's so many doors around there. I'm thinking that the price isn't bad if we recognize how many doors we're dealing with. That's the thing. I think you got so many doors.
There is a lot of doors. Now, we started out at the high school looking at all the doors, and we very quickly realized I just couldn't go that direction, because there's closets, there's back doors, but this is taken care of. If anybody has a key to get into the building today, once we get this done, they shouldn't be able to get into the building anymore without one of these or the code to go in the keypad at the high school. But now the closets, I didn't worry about those, but also the classrooms is another one that we were worried about, and those will be secured as well.
Okay.
Any more concerns? Hearing none, we're going to vote to accept action item number 4, the door locking system bid. Ms. Jennifer.
Aye.
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 Chair votes aye. That passes 6-0. Surplus. Mr. Shores, are you up on this also?
Yes, sir. As you can tell, the items on the surplus, we did purchase a truck last year to replace the one that we are surplusing. It is in really rough shape. It will cost a lot of money to get the motor back to where it needs to be, and the transmission more than what the truck is actually worth. The other items is throughout our system, there for many years we had projectors everywhere, and over the past years, 2 or 3 years, when we started replacing them with TVs or interactive panels, that's what it is, we started taking all these screens down, and they are basically piled up at Raider Academy. And if we could get a few dollars out of them, I think it'd be a smart move, because we're not going to be going back to the screens. We'll be staying with the panels and the TVs. It's just better technology, and now it's more affordable. Filing cabinets, also, we have a couple of old drafting tables that's, they're just not even count, they're just not good anymore. So we just need to surplus them so I can try to sell them on gov deals.
Dr. Lawson, it comes to your recommendation to surplus these items that were presented.
It does.
Okay, you've heard the director's recommendation to surplus the November items. I'd like to open the floor for a motion.
So move.
Second.
Mr. Crabtree. Mr. Cordell. Okay, questions on these surplus items? Hearing none, we're going to vote to surplus the items that were listed. Action item number 5. It is Ms. Jennifer Love. Mr. Crabtree, you're up again.
Aye.
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 The chair votes aye. That passes 6-0. Action item number 6. Use of facilities on fire concert. Dr. Lawson.
Yes, I'll speak on this just a little bit, and then I'm going to defer to Mr. Parsley and the person who's here to speak about this topic specifically. Obviously, we've done a lot of work with facility requests and that kind of thing, getting that laid out. The vast majority of facility requests we have are for benefits for the community, a community organization, something like that. That's not been unusual. This is the first time we've had a request quite like this one, where it is a more of a commercial venture. And so Mr. Parsley and I visited about this. Mr. Parsley, the principal at the high school, Paul Parsley. We visited about this. We talked about it, and while the way it's worded, we could approve it and move on and that kind of thing. Wanted to make sure that the board's aware of this type of event, so that we would have an idea of what the board wants to do moving forward. And so, but this is a concert. But it's not necessarily a benefit concert or anything like that. It is a commercial venture. And so, not knowing exactly how board members felt, we wanted to provide this opportunity for you to interact with the organizer and that kind of thing, and ask any questions that you might have that I would not be able to answer. Mr. Parsley, have I left out anything?
I think you've hit all the key parts, and I believe Mr. Johnson is, here's Mr. Johnson. I'm here. There you go. We've talked on the phone several times, so I know what you look like. And he's here this evening as well. Oh, I'm sorry.
Get the microphone.
Sorry, I took it and didn't put it back.
So Mr. Ron Johnson reached out probably a couple of weeks ago now, and he was inquiring about potential to use one of our facilities for a concert. He says that he has concerts all throughout the area. He particularly mentioned Franklin County to me. I know he's had one or more of those at Franklin County High School and at some other venues, including schools and other buildings and outdoor structures in the area. But basically, he wanted to have a concert here in Manchester. He says he lives here. Mr. Johnson, did you tell me Manchester or Coffee County? I know you live right here.
I live in Manchester.
But anyway, he lives here and is interested in having a concert here. And basically, we just need to decide whether we're willing for him to do that. He also suggested to me that he would like to make a donation of some sort to either a school organization or a school system organization, if he were allowed to do this. And I'm gonna let, Mr. Johnson, do you want to come up here? Or do you
You want to go ahead and get approval and we can discuss, or go ahead and say what you want to say and then we'll.
I do a lot of concerts, and I've done some at the Manchester Conference Center. I've done some at the Manchester Art Center. I use Franklin County. We've had the Oak Ridge Boys, Bellevue Brothers, different ones in their auditorium. I do them all, McMinnville, but I would love to do one outdoors, sort of try to get the community involved in it as well for outdoor, which the stadium provides more seating. Now, on your form, as I told Mr. Parsley, there's a fee for rental of the stadium, for example. I'll go above and beyond that rental to an organization or school, whatever, what we need to do. We put on our concerts, there will be $1 million in liability insurance with Coffee County School System. It needs to be worded as additional insured. So that's covered. The concert, if we do at the stadium, it won't be a nighttime concert. It would be during the afternoon, so to speak. So the lighting wouldn't be even used. And if there were any lighting for concert purposes, our sound people provide that, as well as we would not use your sound system, because my sound company, the ones we use, they bring everything they need. What we would basically do is set up a stage in front of one side, because I would assume just one side is all you would really need to use. And of course your facility, restrooms and stuff, but other than that, I'm not for sure. I thought I would know by now, but I don't know the act, but it'll be a country. We had looked at Diamond Rio, and that's still a possibility. It could be the Bellamy Brothers, but it'll be a country act. And I'm answering any other questions you might have. And we would provide all the staffing and everything like that we need.
Okay. Dr. Lawson, does this use of facilities come with your recommendation?
I have, in our conversations with Mr. Parsley and his with the organizer, I have no reasons to have any significant concerns, so I must say yes.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
What I had stated also on the form, if I'm correct me if I'm wrong, I don't have mine in front of me, but I believe it was $500 rental fee. I'm prepared to at least do another $500, probably more, based on what we do. You know, I want to be fair on what we bring in. I want to be more than fair. Because most rental facilities we use, like for example, say 600 seats is $800 normally on average for us. It costs me $800 to $1,000 for the conference center. You know, I just think I have actually spoken with the newspaper and different people just to see about getting more people involved. So.
Okay.
And to clarify, the $500, we were trying to set it so that it wasn't used all the time by everybody, but we also wanted it accessible to community groups and that kind of thing, and that's why that amount was set. For a concert venue, I would say that's on the low end, but at the same time, we wanted to make sure our facilities were available for any community group that needed to use it and could do so in an affordable fashion. But that's also why we asked this gentleman to be present, so that if there were concerns or questions, board members could ask.
Okay. So you heard the director's recommendation to accept the use of facilities for the On Fire concert. I'd like to open the floor for a motion.
So move.
Miss Jennifer?
Second.
Mr. Parsley. Now, any questions or concerns?
We wouldn't need to change any schedules or anything for this, or would it conflict with anything that we'd have to change?
No.
Sorry about that.
Mr. Johnson presented several dates, and so I just looked over our calendar and looked at our sports schedules and things like that, and tried to anticipate anything that might come up as well. For instance, didn't really want to do that like the week before graduation. You know, never know what the field might be like. So I think it's maybe 2 or 3 weeks before graduation that we're looking at.
I believe the date was May 11th.
May the 11th is what's on this. Yeah.
But there were several dates, and no, there are no conflicts with that date.
Okay.
And we will, of course, whatever date, we tentatively on the contract is May 11th, but what works best for the to do this with y'all and with the artist schedule, of course, so.
Who will be controlling or whatever will happen as far as what refreshments will be consumed?
What I normally do, I've been doing this 20 years. I don't like to do concessions. I let the facility, or if there's a volunteer like the Lions Club, we'll a lot of times bring the Lion Club in to do something. But I leave that like to the facility, whoever you're happy with doing that, whether it be a school organization or club or an outside charity, I'm okay with it. And we don't expect anything out of that, of course. That would be whoever does it and what y'all choose to do. And being it's a county or facility, I'm sure the security will be there, but we also have security, and a lot of times they're off duty. Like Franklin County, we would get an off-duty officer to be present if we needed. And it's always good to have, so.
Just concerned about, because if we're gonna do a concert, because being a professional musician, I understand what happens at concerts, and my first concern would be any alcohol or anything like that coming into the facilities. We would not want to see that happen.
Yeah, I've never had a concert that I've sold alcohol at. I've had venues ask me, can we sell alcohol, because I'm renting the venue, therefore it comes down to me, because if I was gonna sell it, I could sell it and make so much a cut. My theory's always been gonna be that one person that gives you a problem. Yeah. So.
There's always one.
There's always one.
Any more questions or concerns about it? And I guess, I mean, this is kind of the first time we've done this, although Bonnaroo doesn't hold Bonnaroo on our facility, we still use it, we lease them the facility to use, and so it's kind of the same, it's similar in some ways, but dissimilar also.
That's probably the closest comparison that I can come up with.
Dr. Lawson, did you all discuss parking and things of that nature? If things were to get torn up that way or anything, was that something?
That would be, I mean, if something got torn up, whether it was in the process of parking or within the concert itself, that's where the insurance would have to kick in. And obviously we carry our own insurance, but there is a requirement within the use of facility agreement of insurance, and those requirements are done.
And that'll be provided immediately.
Mr. Parsley, have we considered, I brought up the situation of refreshments at the thing. Have we considered our school organizations having a chance to get in here and get a little bit of this money?
I'm confident that we can get a school organization to have some concessions. Maybe general athletics, maybe a club. I don't think that will be an issue.
I would say there would be someone willing to do that. Okay. If not, then there's just one more minute and we'll take a vote on this then. And so what we're doing at this point is we're voting to approve the use of facilities for the On Fire concert requested by Mr. Ron Johnson. And Mr. Cordell, you have the first vote.
Aye.
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 And the chair's going to vote aye, so that passes 6-0. So
Thank
you, and look forward to
fun.
working with you.
And the boards, of course, will give tickets to whoever. I mean, we need to.
I'm gonna ask about that.
There is a benefit for being on this board.
Well, you always provide staff and the venue, and that's just part
You're
of
the
it.
same group that does this at Bell Buckle, things like that?
I've done Bell Buckle for so many
Okay.
years. I tell people Bell Buckle's home.
Mhm.
I started with Greg over there, that all that. But we do, and then we've started doing bigger and bigger over the years, and now we do them from here to Georgia. So, yeah. But yeah, that's
Okay.
So,
Thank you.
Good luck.
Thank you very much. Moving on to action item number 7, the budget amendment, 141, 2024-7. Ms. Melson.
This is a new grant that we've received from the state. So this grant came in and the budget has already been approved at the state level. So this budget will have to roll into our general school fund, and that's why you have it on the agenda. But it doesn't affect fund balance. It's a new it's a new grant. So any other questions I'll take if you have them.
This comes with your recommendation, Dr. Lawson.
It does.
Okay, I'd like to open the floor for a motion to accept the budget amendment 141-20247.
So move.
Second.
Crabtree, Mr. Cordell. Okay. Questions about this amendment? Hearing none, we're going to vote to approve the budget amendment. Action item number 7, Mr. Ballard.
Aye.
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 Chair votes aye. That passes 6-0. Budget amendment, action item number 8, 141-20248.
So this budget amendment is for restricted funds that we were able to restrict in the last school year, funds we did not use in the last school year. And in these specific categories, I can restrict these items and carry those into the next budget. And so this is the use of those funds into this school budget. This does, if you look at the bottom of your budget amendment, you will see how fund balance is broken out, and this does affect the restricted fund balance. It does not affect unassigned, but it does affect the restricted fund balance. This is a basic amendment that we do every year to bring the restricted funds in. So nothing new. We just try to use the funds in the next school year that we've restricted for the previous school year.
Okay. This comes with your recommendation.
It does.
You heard the director's recommendation to accept the budget amendment 141-20248. I'd like to open the
So
floor
moved.
for a motion. Mr. Parsley,
Second.
Mr. Crabtree. Okay. Questions about this?
The 15,985,160 at the top is both the restricted and unrestricted fund balances added together.
That's correct.
And that includes our adjustments that we made based on what the auditor's recommendations were.
Yes, so you can look at it. They're broken out. So unassigned is the 9,620,000 after the one budget amendment that we've had, and then the bottom is I'm sorry. Okay, and the bottom is the shows the budget amendment for the fire alarm. So this, I'm sorry, so 7. Do I have? I'm sorry, this should say 8 at the bottom. It should say 141-2024-8. And so you can see the new restricted fund balance is 5.5 million, and then the unassigned is 9 million at the bottom. Sorry, that should say 8 on the budget amendments.
Okay. So the new restricted fund balance is 5.5 million, and the unrestricted fund balance is 9.047. Yeah. Okay,
That's correct.
Got it. All right.
Any more concerns? If not, we're going to vote to approve the budget amendment 141-20248, action item number 8. Mr. Parsley.
Aye.
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 Chair votes aye. That's a 6-0 vote. Passes. Action item number 9, the budget update. Ms. Melson.
So not a whole lot to talk about for November. Nothing really new that's happened in the budget. Revenues are at 16.52% compared to last year, 14.997%. And then expenditures are 20.54% compared to last year of 17.97%. I'd be glad to take specific questions if you guys have them.
Okay. This budget update comes with your recommendation.
It does.
Dr. Lawson, you've heard the director's recommendation to accept the budget update. I'd like to put that on the floor.
So move.
Mr. Crabtree,
Second.
Ms. Jennifer. Any concerns or questions about it? Hearing none, we'll vote to approve action item number 9, the budget update. Miss Jennifer.
Aye.
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 Chair votes aye, passes 6-0. With that, we've taken care of all our action items. We'll move on to items for discussion. And we can start with, we got a couple principals here. Mr. Anderson, you want to go? Come on up to the front.
Mr. Anderson, you look hurt.
Looks like it's been a little rough on you at your school.
No, it's all good. It's all good. Now, this was done outside of school. So several things to mention here. Just want to make you all aware. We have Veterans Day program Friday at school. Really great job by our choir and band, and the students participated in that. So that went very well Friday afternoon. This week we have our book fair taking place, and so people are able to go by and buy books tonight. Also ball games going on tonight as well, so hopefully that'll be great for the book fair. Beta trip will take place next week, Sunday through Tuesday. And so I know those kids are excited about that and trying to compete in the different competitions then. We have a toy drive that our student council is participating in. So that's going to start after Thanksgiving break. And so toys are going to be given to Steve Graves and that organization, trying to get those toys out for kids in need. So that's there. Something that's coming back that's been done, these guys probably participated in, but since COVID it hadn't happened. So our 6th graders are going to Kingwood Arms. And so that used to be a big thing years and years ago. And so, like I said, COVID stopped that, but they're starting that back this year. So that's definitely something that helps the folks at Kingwood Arms. They kind of put on a craft fair. The kids go and do some math with those folks, and are able to purchase things too. So I know the folks at Kingwood Arms are really excited about that as well. And then we have a Christmas concert on December 11th. So we had a fall one back in October, and then we have a Christmas one in December. If you missed the one in October, you might want to come to the December one. It was really, really good. And both our choir and our band will perform on that night. So lots happening at the middle school. And of course, sports, basketball tonight, wrestling tomorrow night, and on and on and on. Swim's now competing as well, so lots happening in athletics.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Anderson. Mr. Parsley.
You're getting your
What's the date of
exercise.
that concert? December the
11.
11th.
May the 11th.
Right, so we also have winter sports going on. And these ladies I know earlier mentioned some events that we have. Basketball tomorrow night. Also host a Hall of Fame game this weekend. I believe that's on Saturday. But we have some other events I thought I would just mention. A lot going on all the time. We have an American Cross blood drive at the high school on Thursday. And so our health science students will be working that blood drive along with the American Red Cross. And ideally, they like to have as many as 60 people donate. They're going to be there, I believe, from about 8 a.m. to 1, I think, was when they were going to kind of close up shop on Thursday. If you know anyone that's interested in donating blood, you could reach out to me, or I could just give you contact information for one of our health science teachers. Also, our Beta Club will be going to their annual state convention in Nashville later this week. I believe they leave on Thursday. Could be Friday. I think it's Thursday, though. And lots of our students in Beta Club, of course, that's a civic organization, a community service-based organization, and just do lots of work, community service, and you know, their academic criteria to be part of that club, and that's just a good club that we have at the school. Also want to just mention a little bit more about our Veterans Day Assembly this past Friday. You know, our band did a wonderful job. Our ROTC performed a ceremony, a flag folding ceremony, and took about 6-7 minutes to do that. One of our cadets explained the symbolism of all the folds in the flag. Very interesting. And we also had our choir sing. We had a guest speaker, Colonel Withrow from Arnold Engineering Development Center. And honestly, I was just really, one of the things that I take away from that, we want to educate our students about the meaning of Veterans Day. I think, to me, that's the most important thing. We also want to pay homage to veterans as well. And this year we had 8 veterans who work at Coffee County High School that we honored. And so we make a effort to do that. And I was just really pleased with the behavior of our students. 1,300 students in our gymnasium, along with about 125 staff. And I just, I was really pleased with the behavior for a 45-minute assembly, and they seemed to be really attentive for that. So that's all I have.
That's great.
Thank you.
That's really good.
Thank you. Any comments or questions for our principal? Mr. Ballard, do you have anything this month or anything you want to look at?
I do. I know Mr. Gilly isn't here, but I was wondering if we could get a quick update on the status of the environmental investigation we talked about at the high school.
They actually started that last Friday.
Okay,
I think it's last Friday, or the Friday before. I might be off on 1 week.
okay.
I think
Well, it's in progress. So
It wasn't this past Friday, it's Friday before.
All right, good.
And that's, we're waiting to hear from them. I mean,
Sure, that's always, yeah, that's a big part is waiting. All right, thank you.
Mr. Parsley?
No, sir.
Ms. Jennifer?
I do. I want to take a second to brag on our elementary school's basketball teams. I've spent a lot of time lately at the elementary games, and they're really fun. It's exciting. I didn't know it would be, but it is. And those kids have a lot of heart, and it's very well organized, and I've had a lot of fun watching them play. I'm looking forward to all these kids moving up to middle school because there's going to be some really good ones on there.
Thank you. Mr. Crabtree?
Well, it's not part of the school system per se. I had a discussion the other night with my wife concerning she is a member of the board of the Coffee County Imagination Library. The Coffee County Imagination Library is the organization that gives books to children from birth to 5 years old. And the one thing that really surprised me was when she told me that, because she's in charge of the registration and the updates and everything for all the kids that are in the program. The Imagination Library is currently serving 3,200 children with a book delivered every month. Part of the money is paid through the Imagination Library and donations that they receive, and the other part is through state matching funds. And this, I believe, goes a long way in helping with our third grade reading ability, because they get books that are age appropriate for them in this. So if you have a chance to get to one of the Imagination Library events which get put on, I think you'd be greatly surprised and pleased with what happens in those.
Thank you. Mr. Cordell?
Nothing other than I'm just so proud of our school system, with our teachers, our staff, our team, and wow, it's an honor to serve. Just so proud of our school system, and we're going to do our best to make the best even better. Thank you.
Thank Positive comment, thank you. You bragged on the elementary, I'm gonna brag on the middle school, okay? A couple things, Career Day. I participated in that, and and we coincide with Westwood, and so their students come over, they bus them over, and so it gets the two schools together, it gets the community together. These kids really enjoy that day, and for days afterwards, I'll go out and I say, "Hey, I know you, I remember you," and so it was. Y'all managed that very well, and I was very impressed with Career Day, and it was a great thing. And if you ever can participate in it, it's very positive. You get more than you give, I guarantee you. Also, the one thing that we approved a year or so ago that I just wanted to give you an update on that's very positive, the wrestling program. It has taken off unbelievable. The middle school wrestling program, we went to a big meet last weekend, and 3 of our kids medaled, and that's really hard to do. I'm not sure, I can't remember if there's 13 or 14 schools there, but that's pretty phenomenal for a new program. And I did go to one of the tournaments at the middle school a week or 2 ago, and of all the schools that we go in, that gymnasium is very clean, very appealing, and it's a nice facility. So I appreciate that. So that was my little shout out for the middle school this month.
It is a very nice gym.
Yeah, and so it's a joy to go out there. One other thing I went to is, and there's so many things that we can do for our system. Of the fundraiser, the girls basketball had a fundraiser the other night at Prater's, and it was good to see the community out donating a substantial amount of money to help our kids. And so a lot of things are done for our kids in our system that we don't always hear about or know about. So I just wanted to say thank you for all the people that met and donated for that. And so that's all I have on my comments. Any questions for the principals or anyone else? All right.
As you know, we have our state school board conference coming up Thursday and Friday, so looking forward to that.
Committee reports.
Yes, in the last month, there was a Safe Schools meeting on October 31st. There was a policy committee meeting immediately preceding this. Well, we actually finished a little early, so it was about an hour before this meeting. Those policies will be appearing for a first reading in December. There will be a calendar committee meeting tomorrow. That's for one board member and teacher representatives from each school, 2 board members, I'm sorry, and teacher representatives from each school. And so we'll be discussing the 25-26 school year. Thank you. So next year's calendar is already set, so this will be the calendar for 2 school years from now. But so those are the committee meetings, and that's all we've got right now.
We've already had our student ambassador reports, and they're still here. Thanks for staying. We've been very efficient today. Anything else you want to add? You forgot that needs to be put in? I guess not. Thanks for staying.
Thank you so much for all you do.
And enjoy your pinning. That's a special night. Take lots of pictures.
The director's report.
Yes, I will say usually we have several elementary principals here at this time to give reports, but this is the final regular season night for elementary basketball. They have games occurring, I think, both at the high school and Raider Academy. So most of our elementary principals are attending those games with their teams. Let's see, there is a commission meeting tomorrow night. That's when they will decide. There's several items for the school district at that, but the one that the employees are most interested in would be the approval of the extra pay that will be in the December and June paychecks. Don't anticipate any problems with that since we're not asking the commission for that money, but that will make it official as of tomorrow. You should have received an email back on November 8th from Ms. Westmoreland about the board Christmas dinner. It will be December 12th at 5 p.m. Just reminding you to respond to that if you have not, with whether you're going to be able to attend and or a guest. And then, as Mr. Cordell mentioned, the TSBA State Convention is this week, and I believe that's also where the Beta Club holds their convention that the high school is going to. So when you see a bunch of high schoolers running around, some of them that you see could very well be ours, but there are so many of them that it's hard to pick out. But that will be occurring at the same time. As far as ESSER update, still kind of the same thing. We don't have any required reporting for right now. We are continuing to work our way through that budget and make sure it is expended. All those, since we are in the final year of ESSER, all those allotments have to be made by June 30th, and all monies expended by September of 24. So it appears that we are on pace to do that, and we're continuing to monitor that. There is one thing that anytime there's a larger donation, it has to be reported to the board. So there is one that I want to make sure that we make the board aware of at this point.
And that is when we did the furniture, we went through Ernie Morris, and there's some of the furniture at Hillsborough was not up to par for us. And rather than them coming in, taking it back and replacing it, they are donating the furniture, and it's up to a price of $60,000. So we want to make you aware of that, and we will be using that money though still to buy the correct furniture that's in perfect shape for the school, but still it's $60,000 worth of furniture.
So basically, yes, we'll be able to use the original allotted money to buy the furniture, and then some of the stuff like I said, in that first, like Mr. Shore said, in that first shipment is still it's still in shape to use and that kind of thing. But since it is a rather large donation, policy requires us to alert the board. And then, let's see, Ms. Melson, were you going to talk about the internal school funds auditor?
So our internal school funds auditor is our auditor that comes out and audits our school books. Our current auditor is Householder Artman out of Tullahoma, and they are retiring. So I was searching to find someone to replace them. And so usually it's a CPA firm, and it's hard to find someone with that niche. I was lucky to I called several within the area. I called other school districts to see who they were using. And I was lucky to find Matlock and Clements out of Murfreesboro. They have sent a proposal over to us. It's below the board approval, so I just want to make you aware that our internal school auditor will be changing for the 23-24 school year. Same price, there was no increase in price, so just wanted to make you guys aware that in case something comes up or said, that we had to move to a new internal school auditor.
Okay. And that's all I've got.
Okay. So I got a couple of announcements. First of all, I want to, one more comment I want to make. When we started broadcasting, I think this is very positive for the community. I think several people are watching. A lot of people are folks, because I get a lot of comments about, and they went back and go back and look at other meetings if they hear something they were interested in. So I think that's very positive. I know somebody's watching because I got a message that there were 23 teams at the wrestling tournament that we competed with. So just to clarify, it was a very big event, and we did exceptionally well.
Real-time error correction.
Yeah. So that's an advantage of broadcasting live. Next school board meeting will be on December the 11th, 2023 at 4:30 p.m. here at Coffee County Board of Education. As Mr. Cordell mentioned, we'll be traveling to Tennessee School Boards Association Fall Convention end of this week. Calendar Committee November 14th. Capital Projects Committee meeting November 27th. We mentioned the school board dinner. Also the bus breakfast. The bus driver's breakfast is December the 1st.
Yes,
And
thank
we
you.
try to cook for this, so if y'all have not participated, we try to go and cook for the drivers that morning. So if you can make it, it's another, I think it's the first.
December the 1st.
December 1st. And so
Early.
that is when administrative staff and that kind of thing, we meet at the transportation garage, we cook the breakfast, and so as bus drivers complete their routes and arrive back at the garage, they partake of that. It's just a chance for the administrators to show their appreciation for that group of people.
Another rewarding thing that
Absolutely.
we do as a school or do for our drivers, and they seem to really appreciate it, the ones I've been to. Okay? With that, I think we've accomplished everything we can. Would like to take a motion to adjourn.
So move.
All in favor, say aye.
You have to say that is the shortest meeting